we're going to do is take what we learned on mean average and use it to find the median and the mode. Using the same data, we're going to start in cell A13, click on function. If you don't have statistical up here, it's easier if you click on to get the statistical data. That only gives you just those functions rather than giving you everything that might be out there. This time we're going to scroll down until we come across median. There it is. Click OK. And again, the same thing applies. Rather than allowing Excel to just select your data for you, you're better off getting in the habit of doing it yourself. So left click on A2, drag down through A11, and hit OK. We're going to do the copy and paste straight across as we did with mean. So if you let your cursor come across the lower right hand corner of the cell, left click, and then drag this to the next two cells in B13 and C13. Make sure that it worked. Click on B13. You see that you have a median average of 187.5, but if you go up to the formula bar, you can see that it did change from A2 to B2 and from A11 to B11. Same thing with column C. You just double check to make sure that that worked. Now we're going to do mode, and it's just a slightly different. If you click into cell A14 and then go up to formula bar, scroll down to mode, you're going to find there's actually two of them. And we want to use the one that's for single. So mode.single. Click OK. And it's going to ask what do you want to look for. So we're going to do A2 through A11. And click OK. Then we're going to do the same thing to copy and paste straight over. You do end up with an error message under weight. And the reason for that is mode is when you are looking at your data and looking for the most time it occurs. And there's no one piece of data that repeats itself. If you look under the error message, it'll give you the opportunity to say ignore error. Know your data to know whether that's what you want to do or whether it's a heads up that there's something wrong with your data. It goes back to the original piece that we did this time and knowing your data and knowing what you're looking at. This will give you a chance to analyze mean, median, and mode and see if there's any differences in the three types of averages and whether one of them will give you the analysis that you need to be able to do what you want with your data. If we go back up in the middle of our data, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to do an insert. Now if you remember originally we had an infant that was 22 inches long, 16 pounds, and had 101.4 temp. If I add that and then go back down and look at my mean, median, and mode, you're going to see that we went from A2 to A12 instead of A2 to A11. When you add a row in the middle of your data, Excel will pick it up and know that you want that included. If you add it at the very beginning or the very end of your data, then you would have to adjust your formulas to accept that because it doesn't know whether you want it when you're adding it to the beginning of end. But if you're adding it in the middle, it assumes that you want it included in your data. So we're going to take that back out because it just kind of goofs things up. But you notice that all your formulas then changed. We're going to delete. Same thing, if you delete something in the middle of your data, then you go back to A2 to A11, B2 to B11, and C2 to C11. So Excel does some things instinctively for you that make things a little bit easier. That concludes our piece on mean, median, and mode.